LPBW. Are Amy and Chris Marek still together after 3 years of marriage? Life update and where they stand. Hello viewers, I am Alana. Welcome back to my channel. USA Daily History for Roloff family latest news update. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. It's been over 3 years since Little People, Big World star said, "I do," to real estate broker in a romantic wedding held on the Roloff family farm. Since then, fans have closely followed the couple's journey, both on and off camera. But with no new LPBW episodes airing and social media updates becoming less frequent, viewers are left wondering. This deep dive explores their relationship today, from marriage milestones and life changes to fan speculation, personal challenges, and what's next for the couple in a post-LPBW world. Amy Roloff met Chris Marek in 2016, shortly after her divorce from Matt Roloff was finalized. Chris wasn't part of the LPBW world. He was a successful real estate agent with a passion for motorcycles and adventure. The two bonded over a mutual love of exploring and new experiences. Despite initial fan skepticism, their relationship quickly blossomed into something serious. In 2019, Chris proposed to Amy, and she said yes. The engagement was a pivotal moment for Amy, who had been hesitant about love again after decades with Matt. Their wedding in August 2021 was an emotional and joyful affair. Though there was tension surrounding the venue, Matt offered the Roloff farm, which Amy had mixed feelings about. The day ultimately went off beautifully. Chris proved to be calm, supportive, and steady, qualities Amy had longed for in a partner. The first year of marriage was full of changes for Amy and Chris. Moving in together was one of the biggest adjustments. Amy had purchased a new home in Hillsboro, Oregon, and Chris moved in after the wedding. Amy often opened up about the challenge of combining lives later in life, especially since both she and Chris were used to living independently. Yet, despite the occasional conflict, which fans sometimes saw on the show, the couple largely navigated the transition smoothly. Chris's calm demeanor often balanced out Amy's more fiery and emotional nature. They traveled, spent time with family, and continued appearing on LPBW, although Chris always maintained a more background role compared to Amy. Yes, Amy and Chris Marek are and appear to be enjoying married life. Though no longer filming Little People, Big World full-time, Amy remains active on social media, and Chris occasionally appears in her videos and photos. They recently celebrated their 3rd wedding anniversary, which Amy marked with a heartfelt post reflecting on their time together. 3 years married to my best friend, Amy wrote. It's not always perfect, but it's real, and I wouldn't want to share this journey with anyone else. Amy has frequently described Chris as her true partner and someone who accepts her for who she is, quirks, emotions, and all. These days, Amy and Chris live a relatively quiet life in their Hillsboro home. They enjoy riding motorcycles together, exploring the Pacific Northwest, and spending quality time with Amy's grandchildren. Chris is close to Amy's kids, especially Zach, and has embraced the role of bonus grandpa with warmth and humility. While they both maintain their independence, Chris still works part-time in real estate, and Amy runs her business and social media pages. They prioritize time together, often going on date nights or cooking at home, not about the big fancy life. We like simple. A nice dinner out, maybe a weekend getaway, and just being home together. That's what we love. And the past 3 years, Amy and Chris have made a point to travel. They visited the Oregon coast, taken road trips through wine country, and even vacationed in Michigan to see Amy's family. Travel is one of their shared passions, and fans often gush over their pictures and videos documenting their adventures. But it hasn't been without bumps in the road. In early 2025, Amy suffered a minor accident while on vacation with Chris. She tripped during a hike and ended up with a sprained ankle. Chris stayed by her side the entire time, even carrying her to the car. According to Amy's Instagram story, he didn't even flinch, just helped me like it was no big deal, Amy shared. That's Chris. These small but significant moments are often what fans cite when saying Amy and Chris have a truly special bond. And mid-2025, rumors began circulating that Amy and Chris may have separated, largely due to a stretch of time when Chris was absent from Amy's social media. Fans speculated about the lack of couple photos, and some theorized that Amy was living alone or that the pair were having issues. However, Amy quickly shut down the gossip with a video update. "Oh, Chris and I are not separated," she said with a smile. "He just doesn't love being on camera as much as I do." Amy reminded fans that Chris is more private and prefers to stay out of the spotlight. She also said that they've learned to balance their different personalities, Amy being extroverted and expressive, and Chris being calm and reserved. The couple's ability to respect each other's boundaries while still nurturing their relationship is something that's resonated with many longtime fans. Amy's relationship with her children, especially Zach and Jeremy, has always been a major plot point in LPBW. Though there was once tension surrounding Amy's divorce from Matt and her decision to remarry, the family seems to have reached a place of peace. Zach, in particular, has shown appreciation for Chris. The two have gone on group outings, and Chris has attended many of the grandkids' birthday parties and school events. In an older LPBW episode, Zach commented, "Chris is different from my dad, but he treats my mom well. That's what matters." As for Jeremy and Molly, who have stepped away from the public eye, they've also reportedly welcomed Chris into the family. Amy has mentioned in interviews that all of her children have made an effort to include Chris in holidays and family gatherings. Chris Marek might be best known to LPBW fans as Amy's husband, but he's a well-rounded individual in his own right. He has a background in real estate and photography, and he's an avid motorcycle enthusiast. He's also proven to be a patient and steady presence in Amy's life, balancing her fiery spirit with a calm, level-headed approach. Chris has also been supportive of Amy's career, whether it's filming videos for her YouTube channel, helping with her baking business, or simply cheering her on from the sidelines. "You hold me steady when I feel overwhelmed, and you make me laugh when I need it most. Thank you for being you." With Little People, Big World possibly done for good, or at least on indefinite hiatus, many fans wonder if Amy and Chris would consider returning to television. Never say never. But for now, Chris and I are just enjoying life without cameras following us around. While there are no plans for a spin-off, Amy has hinted that she may expand her YouTube content or work on a new book. Chris is supportive but keeps a lower profile, so what's kept Amy and Chris strong after 3 years of marriage? Amy and Chris have different personalities, but they respect each other's ways. Amy is more emotional and expressive. Chris is grounded and quiet. This difference helps them complement one another. Amy has said that communication is vital in their relationship. After 2 failed marriages between them, they both came into this one knowing what they didn't want, and what they did. Whether it's travel, motorcycles, or spending time with family, Amy and Chris enjoy doing life together. They don't need elaborate plans to have a good time, just each other's company. Chris doesn't force Amy to change, and Amy doesn't push Chris to be in the spotlight. They found a rhythm that works for them, both in public and private. As they step into their 4th year of marriage, Amy and Chris are focused on enjoying life, building memories, and staying grounded. There's no talk of moving or major life overhauls, just a shared desire to grow old together. Amy continues to engage with fans through her social media and live chats, and Chris remains her steadfast supporter, even if he's not front and center. Whether it's date nights, cooking, or watching the sunset from their porch, they seem content in the life they've built together. Amy Roloff and Chris Marek have proven that it's never too late to find love again. Despite fan doubts and the lingering shadow of Amy's past with Matt Roloff, she's carved out a new chapter, one filled with partnership, respect, and a genuine connection. While their time on Little People, Big World may be over, their story continues, one quiet, steady, and love-filled day at a time. LPBW's Amy Roloff, Chris Marek, Matt Roloff, and Karen Chandler reunite on Roloff Farms amid feud rumors. The Roloff family has captivated viewers for nearly 2 decades through TLC's hit reality series Little People, Big World, LPBW. At the heart of the show lies the iconic Roloff Farms in Oregon, which has served as the backdrop to countless family milestones, transitions, and unfortunately, tensions. Recently, longtime fans were stunned and delighted to see Amy Roloff and her husband Chris Marek reunite on the farm with her ex-husband Matt Roloff and his former fiancée Karen Chandler, despite ongoing rumors of feuds and fractured relationships. Their unexpected reunion sparked buzz among fans, leading many to wonder, is the Roloff family finally finding common ground? This article explores the context behind their reunion, the complicated relationships within the Roloff clan, and what this means for the future of the Roloff legacy. To understand the significance of this reunion, it's essential to revisit the journey of the Roloff family. Little People, Big World debuted in 2006 and introduced audiences to Matt and Amy Roloff, both of whom have dwarfism, and their 4 children, Jeremy, Zach, Molly, and Jacob. As the seasons unfolded, fans watched the family navigate life, disability, parenting, divorce, and even major business changes, most notably the transition of ownership and responsibility on Roloff Farms. Amy and Matt's marriage ended in 2016 after nearly 3 decades together. Though they initially appeared to maintain an amicable relationship for the sake of their children and the family business, tensions often bubbled to the surface, particularly when it came to farm decisions and co-parenting styles. Matt remained on Roloff Farms while Amy moved off the property and began a new chapter with Chris Marek. Their split laid the groundwork for a family dynamic that would eventually grow more complex, especially with new romantic partners entering the picture. The arrival of Chris and Karen further complicated the Roloff dynamic. Chris Marek, a real estate broker, entered Amy's life as a stabilizing, warm, and supportive presence. Fans quickly took to him, appreciating his down-to-earth personality and patience, especially when navigating Amy's difficult ties to her past. Karen Chandler, who had worked for years as a manager on Roloff Farms, began dating Matt not long after his divorce from Amy. Their relationship raised eyebrows among fans and even among members of the Roloff family. Some questioned the timing and optics of Karen's involvement with Matt, especially given her former professional role on the farm. Despite the drama, both couples tried to focus on their own paths. Amy married Chris in 2021, and Matt proposed to Karen in 2023. But underlying issues about the farm, the show, and personal boundaries continued to fester. Roloff Farms has always been more than just a backdrop, it's a central character in the Roloff story. From pumpkin season festivities to family weddings and heated negotiations, the farm has witnessed it all. The biggest flashpoint came when Matt decided to sell a portion of the farm. Zach and Jeremy, the two eldest sons, both expressed interest in buying a share, but neither deal came to fruition. This led to a publicized fallout, particularly between Matt and Zach. Amy also voiced disappointment in how Matt handled the sale, reigniting old wounds. Many fans feared that the sale of the farm symbolized the end of the Roloff family as we knew it. Yet, this latest reunion suggests otherwise, and a turn of events no one quite expected. Amy, Chris, Matt, and Karen were all photographed and seen together back at Roloff Farms. Though the occasion was kept relatively low-key, fan accounts and a few social media posts confirmed their presence at the farm during a family gathering. The reunion appeared to take place during the late summer season, possibly in the lead-up to a family event or just before pumpkin season, a time that historically brings the family together. Amy posted a few vague photos on Instagram with the caption, "Nice day to be back on the farm. Good memories here," while Karen was seen in the background of a family group photo. Though no one from the group offered an explicit explanation for their gathering, their presence together seemed to suggest a thawing in the icy dynamics that fans had speculated about for years. News of the reunion spread quickly, with LPBW fans reacting across social media. The responses ranged from shocked amazement to hopeful optimism. Many fans commented that it was heartwarming to see the original group together again, regardless of past tensions. "Seeing Amy and Matt together on the farm after all these years is emotional," one fan wrote on Reddit. "It makes me believe that maybe healing is possible." Others praised Chris Marek for his consistently calm presence. "Chris is the glue. I think he brings out the best in Amy and helps ease tension between." Speculation also swirled that this reunion might be tied to a possible new LPBW special or spin-off. While TLC has not confirmed any such projects, fans pointed out that the show has a history of returning for holiday or event specials even after seasons have officially ended. According to insiders close to the family, the reunion wasn't as spontaneous as it appeared. "There have been conversations happening behind the scenes," one anonymous source revealed. "After the show ended, everyone took some time apart, but they've slowly been rebuilding those lines of communication. It's still delicate. While the get-together on the farm was a major step forward, sources caution against assuming the family has fully reconciled. They still have a lot of baggage, especially when it comes to the farm. But they're trying," the insider added. Chris Marek is said to have played a key role in organizing the gathering, making personal calls to Matt and Karen and emphasizing the importance of putting the past aside. One of the biggest motivations for the family coming together may very well be the grandchildren. Amy and Matt now share several grandchildren through Zach, Jeremy, and Jacob. The desire for the kids to experience the farm as a shared family space likely played a role in encouraging the reunion. Tori Roloff, Zach's wife, has spoken in past interviews about wanting her children to know all their grandparents and enjoy family traditions. Perhaps the sight of young grandchildren playing on the same land where Zach and Jeremy once roamed helped the adults realign their priorities. What is the current status of the relationships among Amy, Chris, Matt, and Karen? Amy and Matt seem to have reached a space where they can be civil, especially in public settings, but they aren't exactly friendly. Amy still harbors feelings about how the divorce and the farm sale were handled, while Matt continues to take a more business-like approach to family matters. Chris has shown grace in maintaining respect toward Matt. Their conversation, once highlighted on the show before Amy and Chris' wedding, revealed Chris's ability to put ego aside. According to Amy, he's been a steadying presence and someone who truly wants peace for everyone involved. Though they've both moved on, Amy and Karen are not close. Their relationship is polite at best, and fans shouldn't expect any best friend type moments. Still, their ability to share space at the farm is a sign of maturity and healing. The big question fans are asking is, does this reunion mean that Roloff Farms will once again become a shared space for the family while Matt still owns most of the property, and his plans to retire and possibly downsize? Amy's visit suggests that she might remain open to engaging with the farm under certain circumstances, especially if the grandchildren are involved. There's also been renewed fan interest in a family foundation, event space, or collaborative effort that could see the Roloffs working together again. Whether this is realistic remains to be seen, but for now, the image of the original 4 adults standing on the farm together offers a glimmer of hope in many ways. The reunion of Amy Roloff, Chris Marek, Matt Roloff, and Karen Chandler marks a turning point in the long, complicated story of the Little People, Big World family. Though the past cannot be undone, and tensions still exist, their willingness to show up and share space on Roloff Farms is a symbolic gesture of healing and potential reconciliation. For longtime LPBW fans, it's a powerful reminder that family ties, no matter how strained, can be nurtured again. Whether or not this reunion leads to more public moments or even a return to television remains unclear. But one thing is certain, the Roloffs are still writing their story, and fans will be watching every step of the way. Amy Roloff on what she learned from her first marriage and why she chose to wed on her ex's farm, exclusive. Amy Roloff has been an open book to fans for over 2 decades, allowing viewers a raw glimpse into her triumphs, heartbreaks, and personal growth on Little People, Big World. But one of the most unexpected chapters of her life, and perhaps the most poignant, was her decision to marry her second husband, Chris Marek, on the very farm she once called home with her ex-husband, Matt Roloff. And this exclusive deep dive will explore Amy's personal reflections on her first marriage, the emotional complexities behind her wedding decision, and the lasting legacy of love, family, and strength she continues to build. Amy Roloff and Matt Roloff first met at a Little People of America conference in the late 1980s. Their connection was instant. Though they came from different backgrounds, Amy from Michigan and Matt from California, they bonded over shared experiences of living with dwarfism, faith, and a dream for a big life. The couple married in 1987 and soon moved to Oregon to build what became Roloff Farms, a 100-acre property that would soon become both their sanctuary and the backdrop for their hit TLC series Little People, Big World, which debuted in 2006. For nearly 3 decades, Amy and Matt shared parenting duties, business endeavors, and the spotlight. Together, they raised 4 children, twins Zach and Jeremy, daughter Molly, and youngest son Jacob. On the surface, theirs was a life of adventure and collaboration, but cracks in the foundation slowly became visible as time went on. As LPBW viewers watched the Roloff family grow, they also witnessed the mounting tension between Amy and Matt. Differing communication styles, contrasting life philosophies, and the pressures of running a family business began to take a toll. In 2015, the couple announced their separation after 27 years of marriage. Their divorce was finalized in 2016. Reflecting on that chapter, Amy has been candid about the difficulties. In her memoir, A Little Me, she wrote about how she often felt dismissed or undervalued in her marriage, and how she struggled to find her voice as a partner and individual. "I realized I had been living a life that wasn't always mine," Amy shared in a later interview. "I gave so much of myself to the relationship, to the family, that I sometimes lost sight of who I was." Post-divorce life was a mix of liberation and anxiety for Amy. She moved off the farm and into her own home, a major life adjustment after nearly 30 years in one place. But the space allowed her to reconnect with herself. "I started asking, what do I want? What makes me happy?" she explained in a recent podcast interview. "For the first time in years, I was able to just focus on Amy." That focus turned into new projects, authoring books, launching her baking brand, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, and staying close to her children and grandchildren. But perhaps the biggest change came when she met Chris Marek, a real estate agent with no ties to the Roloff name. Amy met Chris in 2016, and though she was initially hesitant to date again, his patience and sincerity won her over. "He wasn't trying to be anyone but himself," Amy said. "He didn't see me as Amy from the show, he just saw me." Their relationship blossomed quickly, and Chris proposed in September 2019. The engagement came as a surprise to many, especially given Amy's initial reservations about marrying again. "I told him early on that I wasn't sure marriage was something I wanted," she recalled. "But Chris never pressured me. He was just present, always listening and loving." The couple began planning their wedding in the midst of the pandemic, navigating not just logistics but emotional landscapes as well, particularly when it came to selecting a venue. Choosing Roloff Farms as the wedding location wasn't an easy decision for Amy. The property was the setting of so many memories, both joyful and painful. It was where she raised her children, built a business, and also experienced heartbreak. Initially, Amy considered other options. She wanted a space that reflected her new chapter, separate from the past.